is going on, guys? It is a rainy, crappy day, but that is not stopping me. I'm heading to the comic shop. It is new comic day, but there's not really much I'm looking for. I think I'm going to pick up the new Superman. That's a DCKO tie-in, but other than that, I'm just browsing around. I want to check out Queen City Bookstore. They're always getting new stuff. Every time I go in, they are just bringing me boxes of new stuff. After that, I think I'm going to hit up Ollie's. I have a 15% off coupon, and there's another location I don't get to too often, and Queen City Bookstore is kind of on the way, so I'm going to make a pit stop, and then we're going to head out to Ollie's and see what I come back with. So I'm pretty excited for today. Got to make the most of the crappy weather, right?
No, well, if it was still a bank, you wouldn't have gotten it. So, again, we got it here. In theory, there should be no problems ever getting the building until the next tenant has the sink overspill, because college kids don't clean it, But I think you're going to go for a little bit.
Dude, that is sick. I have a hardcover of this, but they have issue number 1 of the Dark Horse Slayer Repentless. Looks like they have the set of 3.
So what's up, man? Where's the missus?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You did? Worst.
I wasn't planning on filming today, but I'm glad I did. These are some crazy finds. Yeah, we're getting into the Spider-Man portion of the box. He was telling me there was some really neat stuff in here. It's cool. Kind of like Superman. It's a great cover.
It burned like hell, like real hell.
I'm guessing that's a Todd McFarlane.
It was insane. I couldn't get it off because it's oil. I'm washing my.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It was the worst thing I ever did in my life. Has anybody ever done that? You ever got it? Oh, you got something in your eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. The whole run.
The full set there in these neat top loaders. Death in the Family, part 1 through 4.
Beautiful Mike Mignola covers before Hellboy. And Jim Starlin wrote it. And it's just an amazing series. And the beautiful Joker cover. They're all beautiful covers.
Yeah, the last issue is a little goofy with Joker becoming an ambassador. But
Did you hear the story about Called a Number?
Yeah,
and
I
you
did
can vote
hear
on the
about
death.
that. Yeah.
And that's the Death in the Family.
Yeah, it's a very cool set. Okay, so this is a coverless book with a printed out cover.
Across America, they might have. Old man Winters got his jacket over.
Yeah. Well, it's all blown around.
Oh, I know. In the beginning of the colder weather, it feels like it's 20 degrees, doesn't it? In the wind and the rain, it gets in your bones. That blood sound. That's a whole bill?
There you go.
Yeah, so I'm thinking for like the last week of October, doing a bunch of like kind of horror themed comics and doing videos
That's a
about
good call.
that, putting it out over the week. I think I'm gonna get this for Luke. He just bought this movie. We didn't watch it.
Oh, that's a
yet,
fun
but-
movie.
Okay.
Oh, you love your Jim O'Perro.
4 here. Is this Jim Apparel or is that
Oh,
Nick
yeah.
Cardy?
No, that's a Nick Cardy cover.
Nick Cardy did it for a while.
Yeah, that's Apparel, I think.
Oh,
Howdy, bud. How we doing?
yeah, right.
Got the leather out today. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
It must be cold.
it is.
It is. It's dreary.
It's dreary. It's raining. Add insult to injury. I finally got the car I wanted, and I was supposed to get it today, and I don't have the ride to bring me back from where it is.
Classic Batman for you. Keep it.
Oh.
1953,
cool.
number 1. The number's over here.
Oh yeah. Let's see. 92. Very cool. Okay.
That is cool, isn't it?
This golden age without the cover, I guess. But still cool.
Early 50s is not necessarily technically golden age
Oh,
still.
is it?
People say it's like 1949.
I always heard
But it could
people
go to the
say
early
it's
50s.
when the comics code came around in the mid 50s.
That's the late 50s. After probably 55 or so.
That's
53?
that's what I normally see people online go by if it has the comics.
Because in the 40s, it was mostly young boys reading comics, age 10 and shit like that. And it kind of you could kind of shows too.
Yeah, and then I heard that at some point in like the Silver Age there was a shift, and that's why like Lois Lane kind of became popular.
Yep.
As more girls started reading.
Well, a lot of the DC books really started to change too then.
Mm-hmm.
That's like when Superman got real soft and Batman got a little more corny.
Yeah, they tried to make Batman like Superman because he was more popular at the time.
There was a certain issue of Batman or Detective where they got back to seriousness. They got rid of the big penny, you know,
Oh yeah.
the Batcave and all the goofiness in the Batcave. Which a lot of people, they love it because it's very charming. But it's not for everybody.
I like the dark and the corny. I think they both have their place.
Yeah, I like both. I do like the era here. That look and feel.
Yeah.
I love that logo,
Okay.
which was that's like 15 years or earlier before the TV show even started. You know? That every like 7 or 8 years, a new group would say, "This is absolutely off the charts, wild and crazy and zany." So and it happened. It still happens to this day. So I don't make any comments about it anymore. Yeah.
I'm like, look at the screen. And then I went to my dad's stash in the basement. It's like, no.
Well, that was even part of the fun too.
Yeah.
Like he would just have too much stuff in the belt.
Yeah.
Another thing too that's very interesting about Batman show and the Star Trek from the '60s.
Yeah.
At that time, video wasn't as nice as it could be, right? And some of the stuff looked a little weird. So those films, they still got filmed on actual celluloid. Those films. So years later, when they wanted to remaster them and polish them up, write them up, whatever it was, they put them on like remastered DVDs, HD quality. They look stunning. How could you not notice? You're a big fan of that shit.
Yeah. Oh, I do. I know.
They look absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Like Twilight Zone, another thing shot on film.
Yeah.
We get in 1965. We had a black and white TV. My dad actually had a good sale or two, whatever it was, and we had our first Zenith color TV. 65.
Oh, Dad didn't go until somewhere around.
Isn't that some cool horror stuff there?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go to somewhere around 69, 70. We had the big combo. You ever see the big combo TV sets?
With the stereo in there?
Yeah.
We had the stereo, LP player, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Stereo to the left, and everything else was to the right. Solid wood cabinet.
Don't you just love the logos from this era?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this
Beautiful.
one's a really good cover.
Yeah, without digital, they were able to come up with cool stuff by just using simple colors. But it's just two colors. It's pink and black.
I'm back at Ollie's for another comic hunt, and this time I'm at a different location than I normally go to. This one tends to get some different stuff, so hopefully I find something good. Such a crappy day. Another one of these poster portfolios. I found a Brian Boland at the last location, and this time we have George Perez, Amanda Connor. Looks like they also have the Brian Boland. It's actually really cute. So this little book has covers from Detective 301 to 600. It's a really cool little $3. I think I'm gonna pick it up. That's really cute. It'd be really nice to just have kind of a little comprehensive guide of covers like that. It's really cute. It's another one of these Suicide Squad Black Label books, and this one's done by C. Spurrier and Aaron Campbell. They did some Hellblazer stuff that was really cool, so I'll definitely think about that one. Check that out, little Ghost Machine, or Mad Ghost as they went by. This is by Image Comics, and it's Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Brad Anderson, the lead team at Ghost Machine. And this kind of followed off of the Geiger series. I'm surprised to see this here, but yeah, I'm definitely picking this up. Only $3.99. Can't. So I was not planning on filming much today, but this wound up being one of my favorite comic hauls. I was correct. They did have new stuff for me to look at Queen City Bookstore, and I think I made out all right. He gave me a pretty good deal on everything, so I don't really know how much I paid for each individual book, but it was a really good value. And I actually got one thing I did not show in the video footage. It was a big collected edition, and I'm really excited about cracking that open, so let's get into it. I got a couple new books today, but most of it was back issues, and I'm alright with that. So first off, we have Superman number 31, and I picked this up because it's a tie-in to DCKO, which I have been enjoying so far from the first issue, and that's a really cool Dan Mora cover. Really like his art. And then the other book I picked up, this was from a couple weeks back, but I could not find a cover A, so I was able to find cover A of Absolute Evil number 1. This is the Absolute Justice League forming, I guess. So I'm excited to read both of those books, but the main reason I'm here right now is for this big stack of back issues. So those boxes were just a mixed bag of some really good stuff. There was some Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, there was some Silver Age, there was some current stuff. A lot of goodies, and I picked up a Silver Age Batman book, well, Silver Age Detective Comics, and it's Detective Comics 315. That is another one of these caveman covers right there. There were a few of these, and yeah, this one I didn't have, and got a really good deal for that. And then you guys who know my channel might know I'm a pretty big metalhead, so I couldn't pass these up when I saw them. This is Slayer's Repentless. I think this was from 2016 or 2017 from Dark Horse Comics. I do have a hardcover, but I did not have the single issues, and I almost never see these, so it was a 3-part set. And they had all 3 parts, so there you got the picture of the guys in the band. And part 3. So super cool to have each of these in an individual. I love adding to my little heavy metal comic collection. And the last thing I got from that new section, we have another Detective Comics book, and this is Detective 585. This is the first appearance of the Rat Catcher, so cool Batman key that I did not have. Glad to get that for a good deal. And they have a great section of $5 books, or if you buy 5, you get it for $20, and that's just a great deal because you get 1 book for free. So I picked up 5 books from that section, but I definitely paid a little less than $20 for all of them. I think I paid $35 for this whole stack of single issues. So we have Classics Illustrated Ben-Hur. I picked this up from my husband Luke because he recently got the Ben-Hur movie on DVD, and I thought maybe he'd like to check out the comic book version. So there you go, rough shape, but cool to find something like this for a bargain like that. I grabbed a couple Batman books from the $5 boxes. First up we have Batman 326. Great cover by Jim Aparo, who is trying to kill Batman. There is a little bit messed up with it that I didn't notice right away, but still really cool, and I'm sure putting this in a bag and board will help flatten that out a little bit. And then to go along with that, we have Batman 328, and this one's a Joe Kubert cover. Really cool. I was surprised I didn't have this one. I thought I did, but did not, so glad to add it to that pile. And then we have Aquaman number 56. So this is kind of that late silver, early Bronze Age, and you can really tell by the cover it's starting to get into that Bronze Age. This is kind of like a horror cover, so very cool for October. And this is a Nick Cardy cover. I remember at the shop, Emil thought that it was a Jim Aparo. It is Jim Aparo on interiors, but this is still a Nick Cardy cover, and I could just tell, like, that is very Nick Cardy, and I really like kind of the horror vibe of some of these older Aquaman books, especially from this era. I think this is my first 15-cent Aquaman book, and to get it for such a great value, I am very excited about that. It's a collection I really want to add more to. And the last book from the $5 boxes I got was a Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, and this one is a classic bondage cover, number 124. I think that is what every Superman fan wants to see, is Superman put in his place by Pretty Lady. So there you go, Lois Lane 124, and that was it for the 5 for $20 section. And before I left, he showed me a stack of some Bronze Age horror, and I was super excited since we are close to Halloween, and I picked up a couple of those books. We have The Witching Hour number 12, and I was just drawn to that cover. That is a Nick Cardy as well, and I just could not get over how cool that looked with the pink. And this one's really not in that bad of shape, all things considered. The next one definitely is not in great shape, but I had to pick this one up. This is House of Secrets number 90, and this is only 2 issues before Swamp Thing made his first appearance in House of Secrets 92. And this cover here was done by Neil Adams, and I am a huge Neil Adams collector, so even though it's low grade, I just had to pick it up, especially for this time of year. And of course, that wasn't enough. Before I was able to leave, Emil of Queen City Bookstore was putting free stuff in my bag. So we have this Whitman Action Comics book. I don't see an issue number on here, so I'm sure someone can let me know. But some people really like collecting these Whitmans. I don't really have too many of them, but it's a cool little freebie. So thank you to Queen City Bookstore, as always. And he actually gave me a coverless book. I saw this as I was flipping through. There was a coverless Batman with a fake cover, and it is Detective Comics 192. Most people would consider that to be Golden Age. A lot of people consider that anything after the Comics Code Authority is when the Silver Age began. So 53, I think, is typically considered the Golden Age, but very cool. He was telling me that this is just an era he really appreciates. And I really appreciate it, even for the lack of condition of the book. I love Batman. I just want the opportunity to have some of these books. Perhaps someday I will get a complete copy, but for now, this is a really awesome gift, so thank you everyone at Queen City Bookstore. And I was not done there. I paid for all of that, and I spent $35, and I had to go back for something I was a little on the fence for, and that's because the price is a little hefty, but for what it is, I could not go wrong, and I really wanted to try one of these out and just kind of test the format. I figured for this time of year, it would be perfect to pick up the Spectre DC Finest Edition. And this contains everything published for the Spectre between 1966 and 1983. That's the entire Silver and Bronze Age worth of Spectre, and you can see right there on the back. You get Showcase Presents, Brave and the Bold, The Spectre, Adventure Comics, Ghosts, Brave and the Bold again, and All-Star Squadron. So This is a packed book. I have some of the books from the Silver Age Spectre run, and I do want to finish that, but really cool to get all 10 issues in this book, and so much more. So I mentioned in the video when I was at Queen City Bookstore that I wanted to review some horror comics for the month of October, and this is just absolutely perfect. I am so excited to dive into this. This is probably my favorite pickup of the day. For all that this contains, you really can't go wrong for the price. And then I went to an Ollie's that is not my usual location, and I did find some different stuff. There was a lot that was the same, but a lot that was different, and I found a couple cool things, kind of small things, but I was really excited to pick this up. This is a Detective Comics Complete Covers. This is volume 2, and so this goes from the Silver Age to about the end of like the Copper Age. And it's just really cool to have like a little comprehensive guide of some of the cool Batman covers. There's one that I just picked up right there. And some of them have little notes of significance there. So that one was a redesign of Batman and Robin. That one right there, I think, is the death of Alfred, the first death of Alfred. First Batgirl, annotated right there. Carmine Infantino, goodness. So yeah, I mean, this is really cool. It's just a little thing, you know? Oh yeah, I gotta give a little spotlight to the Neil Adams too. I think that one might be one of my favorite Neil Adams covers right there with Robin's face melting off. This spans a lot of Batman, and it's just a really cool, cute little guidebook to have. I really like that I can just have this and flip through the history of Batman covers for an era that I primarily collect. I have a lot of these covers. All of these look familiar to me. There aren't any that I haven't seen before. So, very cool. And that was $2.99. I had to go for that. And I grabbed one trade paperback, and that was Junkyard Joe from Image Comics, and this was from Mad Ghost, which has now changed into Ghost Machine, which was the project from Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Brad Anderson, and they all kind of started the Ghost Machine imprint at Image Comics. There's a lot of good stuff coming out of that. And Junkyard Joe came out of Geiger, which was sort of the prototype to what became Ghost Machine. And I really like the original Geiger run. I have not read Junkyard Joe yet, so really glad to be able to find this for $3.99. Was surprised to see this at Ollie's, but definitely not complaining. So there's that. This is a great haul. So there you have it. This is one of my favorite comic hauls to date. I've had some great comic hauls, but I'm just so happy with everything I was able to find and the deals I was able to get. So let me know what you thought about that. And if you have checked out the DC Finest collections, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm definitely hoping to get a review of that out soon. Anyways, thank you. Peace out.